This video is going to teach you about mystery shopping. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to get started today, including tax information, how to apply, how to source jobs, tips to do those jobs, and what mystery shopping is all about. I'm also going to give you some information on merchandising and product reviews for money, and I'll have longer videos about each of those topics. Everything is bookmarked for you, so you can go right to the section you need. This is going to be an extensive video, so if you want to skip over a lot of the details and get right to getting started, I'll talk about what companies you can join today and how to get going. I'll never charge you for any of this information, and you shouldn't pay anybody to teach you how to secret shop. If you want to thank me for this information, please subscribe to me on YouTube. It helps me monetize the videos. That's all I ask for. And feel free to ask questions if you have them, and I will get back to you accordingly. About me, I'm not a full-time mystery shopper or merchandiser. I have done all of these jobs part-time for about 27 years. I'm actually in quality in medical devices and pharmaceutical companies, so I sort of naturally branched out. I did this when I was a poor college student initially. I was also a waitress who got kind of crummy descriptors assigned to me early on. I was called frumpy and fat, and I hated that. So I wanted to start doing this to help provide accurate, objective information for people that worked in the retail industries. The great thing about this work is it is accessible to everybody nationwide, no matter your experience. You don't need specific experience to do it. You do need to know how to read and write and follow directions closely. I even did this work for a period of time when I was living in my car during COVID. It helped kept me fed, it kept me in gas money, and it definitely got me by. It's super flexible work. You can do pretty much on your own time. You might have a window of time you need to do it in, but for the most part, it's flexible, especially the merchandising portion of it. It's great for moms who maybe don't have a lot of time to do a job, but have an hour here and there. Now, you generally can't take other people on these, but sometimes you're required to bring a child, especially to amusement park shops, which are awesome if you can get them. Let me tell you about the general job types, and then we'll go into more specifics on mystery shopping job types. I will have more videos on merchandising and product reviews as I go along. Let's start with mystery shopping or secret shopping. Mystery shoppers are hired by third-party companies to go to a retail place, generally a chain, and review the services and products. Think big fast food companies, they all do it. Some of the hardest jobs I've ever done have been for the big coffee chains, which required a lot of details. Also, you might do local chains. There's a group here that owns about 5 restaurants locally, and I've reviewed their products and services. They also include things like gas stations and banks and retail like clothing and shoes. The retailers don't know specifically that you are coming out or when you are coming out. They might get a general idea like you're going to have a secret shopper this week, but they will know no further details. The reports you write are going to go to this third-party company, and then they'll get carried forward to the retail chain. For almost all of the mystery shopper jobs, you do not reveal yourself. You don't record people unless you're specifically asked to. You might have to record names or descriptors, things like that, but you don't let them know who you are. And if you want to repeat shop that job, you definitely don't want them to know who you are, because if it is revealed who you are, you won't work for that job again, and you might not work for that company. A lot of mystery shop jobs are repeat jobs, and you are only allowed to shop them every so often. 90 days is pretty standard. Some can go longer or a little shorter. I've seen some where you can shop once a month, but those are few and far between. In general, you can't make a living on the mystery shop jobs themselves because they are scattered in that way, but you definitely can make a good part-time income. I would say $15 an hour is average. It can go up from there. It can be a lot less though, because sometimes you're just getting the food product that you're reviewing and a very small bonus. So let me give you some examples of mystery shop jobs. You can decide if it's something you're interested in. If I were going to a fast food chain, I'm going to pick McDonald's. Now, I haven't shopped for McDonald's for over 20 years. I don't know what they're doing. This information is just an example. It doesn't represent their actual shops. But if I got a job for them today, I might get specific instructions that would say, you have to go here between these hours, the hours of 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. You have to buy these specific foods. I would be asked to record times of arrival, the condition of the parking lot. If I had to go inside, I might be asked to record the cleanliness of the facility. Oftentimes you're asked to go in the bathroom and evaluate that. I would be asked to record names of people that served me, the specific greetings, like the actual words they said. If they said, hello, how are you today? How can I help you? I would write down later in the car those exact words. So you do have to be able to recall a lot of details. Oftentimes I'll carry a little notebook, and it's not odd to write in it once I sit down or I'm in a corner, or you can take notes on your phone. I generally don't record the shops. People do that, but I feel like that's a violation. It's depending on the state that you're in. You might not be able to record the actual shop where you're doing it without consent of the person that you are recording. So keep that all in mind. So once I ordered my food, I would make sure I got a receipt because that's how I'm going to get paid. I would make sure I ordered and got specifically what I asked for, and I would follow whatever other rules and questions there are in the job. Sometimes you can go sit down with the food and actually answer the questions in the app, which is super handy. A lot of places, almost all of them, will have you take pictures of the items. You might have to evaluate the temperature or the taste. It just depends on the job. And once I went through all of my questions, I would submit that with the receipt. Now, I would pay up front, and then they're going to reimburse me almost 100% of the time. I will talk later about how payment occurs. With mystery shops, keep in mind, you have to answer every single question they ask exactly how they ask it. But if you don't answer it correctly, or you forget something or miss something, or you buy the wrong food, you will not get paid. It's one of the conditions. And trust me, every shopper drops the ball at one period of time. I myself recently had a job where it was an evening shop at a drive-in restaurant, and I was supposed to take pictures of the food during the shop. I took those pictures, I filled out everything, I sent it in, and the person evaluating my job did not like how dark my pictures were. It was nighttime. They asked me to retake the pictures. It was a week later. I didn't have the food. I didn't get paid for that job. What I've learned from that is to take extra pictures and store them in my camera in case there's something they don't like. Oftentimes they limit how many pictures you can upload, but they'll give you a second chance if there's a problem to remedy the issue. They did give me the opportunity to go reshop the job, and I declined because I wasn't going back a second time for that. I will have some specific tips for you. It's really not that tricky. I don't want to scare you away from it. You get the form up front, so you're going to know what questions you have to answer. And a lot of times I'll just take a few notes in my phone. Not all mystery or secret shops require you to make a purchase. I have done some great ones where I go to a store and I count like how many sizes are in each group, and it pays $20 to $40 for me to spend a half an hour at that store. So don't be scared away that you have to put money up front, but do know that if you are going to do a higher end shop that requires $100 or $200 worth of food or merchandise, that you will not get reimbursed for that unless you follow every single rule. So you are taking a chance on that. There are also mystery shop jobs you can do from home. I'll talk about them more specifically in the getting started section and specific job types. I want to talk a little bit about merchandising because a lot of these companies also do merchandising jobs. And those are jobs where you don't put anything up front. You are representing a brand typically for a third-party company. So let's say Mountain Dew. Now, Mountain Dew doesn't do this type of merchandising, but I'm going to use them again as an example. I might go to the store. I would check in with the store, sign in, tell them who I'm representing. I would have that information. And then I would go to that section, the Mountain Dew, and maybe straighten out all the product and fill it from the back. There might be an inventory sheet to submit or some other proof like pictures. These jobs are great because they're very flexible in time. They usually allow you to go any day of the week except like maybe Saturdays, and you might have a wide window of time to do it. Some of them are recurring, and you can couple them together. So you can work for 3 different companies on 3 different products in the same store, which I think is great. It helps you make more money. You can get into the $20, $25 an hour arena with that, maybe even more if you're really efficient. And I am going to make longer form videos on exactly how to do that. I have also worked for merchandising companies that hire you to do just one product. So for example, I've worked for Hallmark and American Greetings. I've also worked for a company called TNG Retail Services. I'll do a video on all of that. TNG merchandises books and magazines, the sort of rotating things. They used to do CDs. I think we still have some CDs in stores like Meijer and Walmart. And it's a great gig for college students. My niece did it when she was in college. I did it when I was on disability because I could earn enough money that I didn't get docked on my disability. Some of it is strenuous work. Some of it's not too bad. So it really depends on what your disability and needs are. But like I said, I'll have longer form on that. I think they're great jobs. They're a good way to make flexible income for somebody who can't work 40 hours a week. The third type of job I want to talk about is also something that gets mixed in here, and those are product evaluations. Now, these are fewer and far between, but one of the companies I'm going to talk about in getting started is Field Agent, and they do these product reviews frequently enough that I've gotten some good swag. I've gotten things like toys. My favorite are alcohol products. When the seltzers started coming out in just like mass amounts, they paid me to go to the store. They reimbursed me for almost all of the alcohol, plus I got paid $3 to $5. I got to drink the product and then post a review of it. They have very specific rules about the reviews you post. You have to say that you were paid money for these reviews, but you get to keep the product. You can't return it though, and you have to follow all the directions on crossing out the UPC and that sort of thing. But those are great jobs, and again, I'll do longer videos on those. Let me give you just a little briefer on the mystery shopper job types. There are a huge variety. Basically, if people go to it, if people consume it, there are shopper jobs out there. So very common are fast food jobs. The restaurant chains all have shoppers that they do several times a month. These are in every city, everywhere. I've seen banking jobs where you can go in a different capacity. You might be opening an account. You might be applying for a credit card. Those pay higher, and there's sometimes a hit on your account. I'll do more on those as well, so you can get some more details. There are web shops. There are phone shops. A lot of those are recorded. I've recently seen that the local baseball park has a really high paying job. I believe it's $200 worth of food and merchandise, plus you get tickets to the game and parking, and you have to record everything. So those are for somebody more experienced. You wouldn't want to risk all of that without some experience. But pretty much anything, clothing stores, shoe stores, high-end luxury goods, hotel shops, which are a little harder to get into. There are tobacco and alcohol compliance shops you can specialize in later. In my MSPA, the Professional Association section down the road here, I'll give you a little bit of information on how to get certified if you're interested in the alcohol and tobacco compliance shops. Let's talk a little bit about applications. I'm going to walk you through a page of what an application looks like with one of the companies when I get to that company. But I want you to know up front that these are legitimate businesses. You are going to have to provide your social security number, your date of birth, all of your information, because if you make more than $600 in a year, you will get a 1099 tax form. You are a contractor. You have to agree to terms on these jobs, but they're all on the up and up. I won't give you anybody that's not legitimate. How they pay you is they link to your bank account most often or to PayPal. There are a few companies that I've seen that pay Zelle or some other way, but if they're not paying you with one of the legitimate electronic forms or directly to your bank account, they are probably not legitimate. And I'll give you a way to vet if they are legitimate with that professional association later on. A little word about taxes. Again, you do have to pay taxes if you hit over $600 with any one company. They give you a 1099 at the end of the year. It may be electronic, it may be listed on their site, or it may be sent to you on paper. You have to go look for it. So I recommend keeping a log of all of the work you do. You can deduct if you itemize everything from the electricity in your home to your car maintenance and mileage. That's a little trickier. I don't bother doing it. It's not worth it for me because I don't do enough of that work. I'm really just doing it for the food and whatever other perks. The first company I'm going to recommend, Field Agent, is not a company that pays a ton of money. Let me tell you, the jobs are low paying, but I recommend them to get started with for 4 reasons. One, they have a super easy interface. They're one of the easiest companies to use. 2, they're going to accept you for work no matter what. As long as you provide the information, you can get an immediate acceptance. 3, they are nationwide. You can find jobs everywhere. And 4, they have a really good variety of job types. They have merchandising, secret shopping, product reviews, and even a few oddballs like going to a store and seeing if they have a very specific product on shelf and then taking a picture of it and you get paid like $6. So they're a great company for that. Let's go through how you get onboarded with them and give you some examples of their job types. The first company I recommend trying is Field Agent. Like I said, they have all these different job types. They are nationwide and they're super easy to apply to. This is what they look like, so you can find them easily in the Play Store. They will have a very simple application, and then you're going to get to their landing page once you open the app, and I'm going to show you how to adjust for the jobs you're looking for. Once you get in, go to options where that smiley face is. You're going to put in your zip code and then it'll display according to the location, and you can set the distance you want to travel. This is a little preview of the job types. You can see they have a variety, including ratings and reviews and buy and tries that you get products. We're going to look at the mystery shops first. They only have one type at the moment. It's about 7 miles from me, but I would recommend checking this app frequently because jobs come and go quite often. I'm going to go into this job and give you a little closer look. So this pays $6. I have 6 hours to complete it. Once I accept it, it lets me know that there are 13 questions I have to ask and 1 photo. If the store is closed or I can't do the job, it pays $3. It's important to note that once you hit accept, you have 6 hours to do it. You will not get paid if it's not in that time. You won't even be able to complete the job. I can't show you the specific form and questions because that is private information, but I can assure you that once you get in here, it is not difficult to complete these jobs. This is a great starter job. Let's take a look at a little different type of job. This is a buy and try. For this one, it's a specific alcohol product. You get reimbursed depending on your state, and they also pay $5. You're required to go to a specific store, buy the product, write a review, and test it in a designated amount of time. In this case, it's 8 hours. Pay very close attention to all of the details and all the requirements of the picture, and always keep your receipts until you are paid out from these jobs. And you can see there are 3 of these in my area. In general, you're only allowed to do 1 unless there's a different variety of product, and then you can go rebuy the product 3 different times. I love these. They're my favorite. Here's a little more detail. I get 8 hours to do the job. I have to purchase a specific canned cocktail. They give you a picture and UPC of that. And then I have to take a certain number of photos and save the receipt. Let's talk about a second app you can get started with today. This is Gigspot. It's what they look like in the Play Store. They list jobs for a variety of companies, and you apply for the jobs right there on the site in some cases, and in some cases you go to another website and apply for work, but they're a great resource. I do want to talk about their application a little bit because it's very specific. They ask for a lot of details. These are some examples. The more details you provide, the more opportunities you will get because companies can see exactly if you are the right person. This particular company also has an essay, but don't let that intimidate you. Not everybody requires a writing sample, and I'm going to give you, this is mine as an example, so you can see they're just basically looking to see, do you pay attention to detail? Can you write in full sentences? Do you have proper grammar? That sort of thing. They do check for plagiarism, so if you steal my essay or try and take somebody else's or get one off of AI, they will just simply bar you from shopping. Pause to read that. It's probably not perfect, but it's good enough for this work. These are some examples of the types of jobs that Gigspot has. Like I said, they have web and phone jobs you can do from home. Now they give you specific details about what they're going to pay you, the distance, and they let you see the form up front before you take the job. Here are some examples of jobs currently available. I blacked out the store information because that is private. You can see I can get a pizza takeout dinner. It's 38 miles from me, it pays $10, and I get $55 reimbursed. And these jobs change frequently, so I can tell you that there are a lot more jobs closer to me, and I already did the pizza shop one. That's why the closest one's not available to me. Gigspot also has external jobs. They will send you to other companies. You can see they're in the top in the purple gray area. I can switch to external. Now, these jobs are sometimes great jobs, but they're a little more complicated and harder to land. For example, that banking job is going to require your financial information. It may or may not be worth it for you, but sometimes you can find some great things in these external jobs. Hopefully that gives you enough information to get started on merchandising and secret shopping. Look for more detailed videos if you are interested in learning more. And like I said before, I will never charge you for this information. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you find it useful. I also have shorts on all of these topics that help break things down a little quicker. I'll give you more information as we go along on the companies I love, the companies that are not so great, and the jobs that pay best.